Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Morrowind. Last time, when we left off, I had just arrived in Gnaar Mok, difference being I was actually ready to explore. First though, quickly, let's... What the hell spell is that? Let's recall back to Balmora, just to offload a bit, because we are connected to Gnaar Mok via fast travel, and I'm carrying some stuff I don't need to be carrying, like the Boots of Blinding Speed, and 6 Daedra Hearts. Alright, cool. Let's move along now. In order to get back to Gnaar Mok, the quickest thing to do is take the Silt Strider to Vivec, and we've wandered far enough from Balmora, we're going to have to go through a few links in the fast travel chain now. We need to get to a boat. So first you'll want to Silt Stride to Vivec. From the Vivec boat, we can travel to Hlaod. And then from here, we can sail to Gnaar Mok. Alright, let's get started then. I say with the boats. Alright, what do we have here? Ingredients, nothing important. Moon sugar. At least some low-level smuggling. Hey, 34 gold. And an amulet of spell absorption. Not bad. Okay. Little rowboat doesn't have anything. Bigger boat has some stuff over here. So let's check it out. $10 gold and some thief tools. Never going to object to that. And let's talk to Valveli Arelis, the shipmaster. Welcome to Gnaar Mok, Outlander. It's small but dumpy, and I'm Gnaar Mok's shipmaster at your service. What's your destination? Or, if by misfortune you are newly arrived in Gnaar Mok, I grieve for you. But I can steer you to the local services or to a specific place nearby. If you're looking for someone in particular, I might be able to help. Background. I am Valveli Arelis, shipmaster. Okay. Kariarel. The High Elf, he lives in a shack over by the docks. Destination. My ship Priggage can take you from Gnaar Mok to Hlaod and Cool. Gnaar Mok. Everyone's worried about those 2 breeding netch that have been attacking. Breeding netch. That's right, there's a pair of them that wander about north of here. They've come near the town a few times. We drove them off, but I'm sure they'll be back unless someone does something. And in fact, we'll be directed to do that on an Imperial Legion quest, so don't mess with them for now. Even though locals will discuss them with you. Cartag Point. Yes, that's on the western coast, not far from here. It's a gigantic boulder. Some of the orcs consider it a landmark. Why, I don't know. Some orc or another jumped off on a dare. It didn't end well. Latest rumors. Little advice. I bet you couldn't throw a stone around here without hitting a smuggler. Smuggler's Coast is what they call this stretch of coast from Seydanine north to West Gash. Now no one here would think of trying to cheat the Emperor of his taxes. No, we're loyal citizens. Little secret. Morrowind lore, my trade, Nerevarine, Pemini the traitor. Oh, that one. She's got a bounty on her head, I believe, although no one would bother trying to collect on it. She's a slippery one. Often deals in shoddy items. Great promise, but low reward, you know? Bounty. There's a price on her head, though I don't know how much. People don't take kindly to being sold shoddy goods. Your journal has been updated. Services. If you're House Lalu, retainer, or kin, get your services at Arnhem Manor. If you're guild, then you want Wadarku, Balin, or Hinald at the Droog Jigger's Rest. You might get some services at Nadine Rotheran's shack, and you might not. Soul's Thyme, someone in particular. Wadarku the Khajiit hangs around the Droog Jigger's Rest. He's very serious business. Alms Arnhem, she's Hlalu of Arnhem Manor. The Arnhems are the local Hlalu lords. Nadine Rotheran's shack place is where the Kamana Tong people hang out. You stay away from there, Outlander. Alright, good to know. I've been told by some locals that the traitor Pimini has a bounty on her head and should not be trusted. Interesting. Alright. Let's start here then. Check out... let's talk to everybody outside first. Mushmir's shack, Jerian Dolbaniti's shack. Karyarel's shack has a level 20 lock. So I'll at least go ahead and spring that. Rostlogi's shack. Okay. Anglalos's shack we can unlock. I suppose I can speak with Nadine Rotheran. I'm Nadine Rotheran. Never seen you here before. First time in Gnaar Mok then. Let me give you a little advice. We aren't used to visitors here, and we don't like what we aren't used to. So don't be surprised if people don't like answering a lot of questions. But you seem an okay sort. So if you're looking for someone in particular, or looking for services, or looking for a specific place, go ahead and ask. Background. I am Nadine Rotheran, Commoner. Bounty. Breeding Netch, Karyarel, Dagothur, Dunmer, Gnaar Mok, Kartag Point, latest rumors. The smugglers working out of Shurenbal lost their contact in Balmora. I hear they're working now with someone in Aldrune. Little advice, little secret. Morrowind lore. My trade, necromancy, blah 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 blah. Alright, that's it for her. She was nice, so she must not be Kamana Tong, even if her shack's their meeting place. Here's Nadine Rotheran's shack. And here is Anglalos. You're in Gnaar Mok. Go ahead. You ask the questions, and I'll do the answering. Background. I am Anglalos, Pauper. That's it for him. Here's Karyarel. Let's chat with him. Yes, I was treated for swamp fever at the Imperial Chapels in Ebonheart, but I don't know anything about a chapel limeware bowl, so go away and leave me alone. Your journal has been updated. Goodbye. I spoke to Karyarel. He said he didn't know anything about a chapel limeware bowl and told me to go away and leave him alone. Let's look behind Arnhem Manor. I think it's always advisable to check out perimeters and walls and such. Already spoken with Anglalos. Bounty. A bounty? On my head? Preposterous. It must be a case of mistaken identity. I can't imagine why anyone would want to arrest me. I've always been an honest trader. Your journal has been updated. When questioned about having a bounty on her head, Pemini told me that it simply wasn't true, and was probably a case of mistaken identity. She sounded insincere at best. Doesn't matter, the quest is already gone. Just a interesting little update, considering, you know, what we wound up with. Here is the Droog Jigger's Rest. Let's check these crates. Perimeter on that place. And that's it. So I guess it's time to start exploring shacks. So I'll go to the town entrance, and I think I'll go clockwise. So let's go to Jerian Dolbaniti's shack first. Alright, chat with him first. I'm Jerian Dolbanita. Never seen you here before. First time in Gnaar Mok, then. Let me give you a little advice. We aren't used to visitors here, and we don't like what we aren't used to. So don't be surprised if people don't like answering a lot of questions. But you seem an okay sort, so if you are looking for someone in particular, or looking for services, or looking for a specific place, go ahead and ask. Background. I am Jerian Dolbanita, commoner. Okay, he's got nothing important to say. Now let's look around his shack. He's got a comberry. Always a fan. Restore Magicka potions are for winners, especially if you have the Atronach birth side. And a little loose gold. And even a little more. Alright, we're done. Now we'll head to Mushmir's shack. Alright, let's have a chat with Mushmir. I'm Mushmir, and this is Gnaar Mok, and this is Gnaar Mok, and you're Travis? Fine, that's all taken care of. Now, why don't you tell me what you want? Background. I am Mushmir, pauper. Alright, that's it for him. Oh, someone in particular, or specific place changed just a little bit. Droog Jigger's Rest is the only trade house. Arnhem Manor is a Hlalu manor, so retainers and kin can get beds and services there. And apart from a bunch of fishermen's shacks, that's all there is to Gnaar Mok. Oh, Nadine Rotheran's place is Kamanatong country, but you're an outlander. You do not want to go there. Valvelia Relis at the dock offers ship passage to Hlaod and Cool. Okay. He has a copy of 2920 First Seed, which we've already read. All right. Next, let's hit Karyarel's shack. Inside. There's the chapel limeware bowl in a barrel. And let's head to Rostlogi's shack next. Alright, let's chat with Rostlogi. I'm Rostlogi. Never seen you here before. First time in Gnaar Mok then. Let me give you a little advice. We aren't used to visitors here and we don't like what we aren't used to. So don't be surprised if people don't like answering a lot of questions. But you seem an okay sort. So if you're looking for someone in particular, or looking for services, or looking for a specific place, go ahead and ask. Background. I am Rostlogi, commoner. Alright. Let's look around her shack. Not that I expect to find anything great, but you never know. There's a little loose gold. Something at least. Yeah, she's alone in here. And she's a low alarm NPC. Alright, let's hit Anglalos' shack next. Alright, what do we have here? Anglalos is outside. We know this. He's got a copy of The Rear Guard, which is a new light armor skill book. So we'll need to read it right quick. The Rear Guard by Tenes Morl. The castle would hold. No matter the forces, the walls of Cascabel Hall would never fall, but that was small consolation for Menegur. He was hungry. In fact, he had never been so hungry. The well in the atrium of the fortress supplied him with enough water to hold there until the Fourth Era, but his stomach reminded Menegur minute to minute that he needed food. The wagon load of supplies mocked him. When his army, the forces of the King of Solitude, had left Cascabel Hall, and he had manned the battlements as the rear guard to protect their retreat, they had left a wagon behind to supply him with enough food for months. It was not until the night after they left that he inspected the larder and found that nothing edible was in the wagon. Trunk after trunk was filled with netch armor from the army's incursion into Morrowind. Apparently his Nord confederates had assumed that the lightly opaque material was hardtack in aspic. If the Dunmer whose caravan had been raided knew about this, they would never be able to stop laughing. Menagor thought that his fellow mercenary and kinswoman Erin would have found this amusing as well. She had spoken with great authority about netch leather, being an expert of sorts on light armor, but she had made a point to mention that it could not be eaten like other leather in occasions of hardship. It was a pity she couldn't be there to enjoy the irony, Menagor thought savagely. She had returned to Morrowind even before the king's army had left, preferring a life as a wanted fugitive to a free existence in the cold of Skyrim. All the weeds in the courtyard had been devoured by the rearguard's 16th day manning Cascabel Hall. The entire castle had been scoured. Rotten tubers in the mulch pile found and consumed, a dusty bouquet in the countess's bedchamber eaten, almost every rat and insect but the most cunning infesting the castle walls had been tracked down and gobbled up. The castellan's chambers, filled with acrid, inedible law books, had yielded up a couple crumbs of bread. Menagor had even scraped moss from the stones. There was no denying it. He would be dead from starvation before his army returned to break the ranks of the enemies who surrounded the fortress. The worst part, said Menagor, who had taken to talking to himself on only the second day alone in the castle, is how close sustenance is. A vast arbor of golden apples stretched acre after acre near the castle walls. The sunlight cast a seductive gleam on the fruit, and the cruel wind carried sweet smells into Cascabel to torture him. Like most Bosmer, Menagor was an archer. He was a master of long and medium-distance fighting, but in close quarters, as he would be if he dared to leave the castle and enter the enemy camp in the arbor, he knew he would not last long. At some point he knew he would have to try, but he had been dreading the day. It was upon him now. Menagor put on the netch armor for the first time, feeling the powdery, almost velvet texture of the rendered leather against his skin. There was also a barely perceptible throb, which he recognized as the remnant nematocysts of the netch's venomous flesh, still tingling months after its death with domesticated poison. The combination made him feel energized. Erin had described the sensation perfectly, just as she had explained how to defend himself while wearing netch leather armor. Under cover of night, Menagor crept out of the back gate of the castle, locking it behind him with a rather cumbersome key. He made for the arbor as quietly as he could, but a passing sentry coming behind a tree saw him. Remaining calm, Menagor did as he remembered Erin had instructed, only moving after the attack had been launched. The sentry's blade glided against the armor and knocked to the left, throwing the young man off balance. That was the trick as he understood it. You had to be prepared to be hit, and merely move with the blow, allowing the membranous armor to divert the injury away. Use your enemy's momentum against him, as Erin used to say. There were several more close encounters in the arbor, but each swing of an axe and each thrust of a sword found purchase elsewhere. With handfuls of apples, Menagor ran the gauntlet back to the castle. He locked the back gate door behind him and fell into an orgy of eating. For week after week, the Bosmer stole out to gather his food. The guards began anticipating his raids, but he kept his schedule irregular and always remembered when attacked to wait for the blow, accept it, and then turn. In such a way he lived and survived his lonely vigil in Cascabel Hall. 4 months later, as he was preparing for another seizure of apples, Menagor heard a loud clamor at the front gate. Surveying the group from a safe distance on the battlements, he saw the shields of the King of Solitude, his ally the Count of Cascabel, and their enemy the King of Farron. Evidently a truce had been called. Menagor opened the gates and the combined armies flooded the courtyard. Many of the knights of Farron sought to shake the hand of the man they had named the Shadow of the Arbor, expressing their admiration at his defensive skills and apologizing good-naturedly for their attempts to slay him, only doing their job, you know. "There's hardly an apple left on the vines," said the King of Solitude. "Well, I started on the edges and worked my way in," explained Menagor. "I brought back extra fruit to tempt the rats out of the walls, so I could have a little meat as well. "We've spent the last several months working out the details of the truce," said the king. "Really quite exhausting. At any rate, the Count will be taking back possession of his castle now, but there is a small detail we need to work out. You're a mercenary, and as such, responsible for your own expenses. If you had been a subject of mine, things might be different, but there are certain old rules of law that must be respected." Menegar anticipated the strike. The problem is, the king continued, you've taken a good deal of the count's crops while here. By any reasonable computation, you've eaten an amount equal to and likely exceeding your mercenaries' wages. Obviously, I would not want to penalize you for the excellent job you've done defending the castle in uncomfortable circumstances, but you agree that it's important that we observe the old rules of law, don't you? Of course, replied Menegar, accepting the blow. I'm delighted to hear that, said the king. Our estimation is that you owe the Count of Our estimation is that you owe the Count of Cascabel 37 imperial gold, which I will gladly pay to myself with interest after the autumn-tide harvest, said Menegar. There is more left on the vine than you suggest. The kings of Solitude and Farron and the Count of Cascabel stared at the Bosmer. We agreed to abide to the strictest old rules of law, and I've had time to read a great many books over the time you were making your truce. In 3E246, during the reign of Uriel IV, the Imperial Council, in an attempt to clear up some questions of property rights in Skyrim during those chaotic days, decreed that any man without a liege who occupied a castle for more than 3 months would be granted the rights and titles of that estate. It's a good law, of course, meant to discourage absent and foreign landlords. Menegar smiled, feeling the now familiar sensation of a glancing strike diverting. By the rule of law, I am the Count of Cascabel. The rearguard's sons still hold the title of Count of Cascabel, and he grows the finest, most delectable apples in the empire. That's another one that made it into Skyrim, as did many of the skill books in particular, which always seemed odd to me. Alright, let's head into Nadine Rotherend's shack next. This is Darren Adrian. Go away, Outlander. Remember Anasi back in Pelagiad? This is where we're supposed to go for her quest. And we're finally there. Anasi. Never heard of her, and none of your business if I did, so blow like smoke or I'll spill you like a baby's cup. Your journal has been updated. Background. I am Darren Adrian, drillmaster and bully of the Kamana Tong. Okay. I spoke to Darren Adrian about Anasi, but he said he never heard of her and that it wasn't any of my business anyway. Then he threatened me and told me to go away. Don't push your luck, mister. You must be hard of hearing, and soon you'll be hard of breathing. Okay, here's what we need to do. Since everyone's gonna attack us if we chat about it again. Selvura Andrano. Not that that's a particularly difficult fight or anything, but I want to make sure I at least get the chance to talk to everyone else. I'm Selvura Andrano, and this is Gnaar Mok. And you're Travis? Fine, that's all taken care of. Why don't you tell me what you want? Background. I am Selvura Andrano, pawnbroker and thug of the Kamana Tong. Okay. Here's Anas Ulven. You're in Gnaar Mok. Go ahead. You ask the questions and I'll do the answering. Background. I am Anas Ulven, thief and thug of the Kamana Tong. Alright. And lastly, let's chat with Sodrara Andalis. Alrighty, you're in Gnaar Mok. Go ahead. You ask the questions and I'll do the answering. Background. I'm Sodrara Andalis, savant and thug of the Kamana Tong. Alrighty. That's it. So now we'll chat with Darren about Anasi again. You must be hard of hearing, and soon you'll be hard of breathing. Well, that wasn't so bad. Let's repair all our stuff. Now with them dead, we can loot. He has a Demon Tanto. Don't care. Selvura has some iron arrows I'm interested in, if nothing else. Anas has several thief tools. That's nice. I'll take all of those, for sure. What about... Looks like I can't loot, Sodrara... Oh, wait. There we go. Sodrara has nothing of interest. Now we can loot the shack. Always feels good to exterminate Kamana Tong. I tell you what. Fucking assholes. Alrighty. We're already down to 2 buildings, if you can believe that. Let's make our way over to Arnhem Manor next. Two entrances. I think one's a balcony. Didn't get a journal update there, but I guess that doesn't matter. I am going to turn... I guess it doesn't matter which way, really. Explore this room first. Dritus Salvani. I'm Dritus Salvani, and this is Gnaar Mok. And you're Travis? Fine, that's all taken care of. Now, why don't you tell me what you want? Oh gosh, he must be a savant. Background. Oh, he's a scout. I am Dritus Salvani, scout and lawman of the Great House Lalu. Daedra cults. We got a new topic. The temple forbids the worship of the four bad Daedra, Mehrunes Dagon, Malakath, Molag Bal, and Sheogorath. But it's a big island, and there's a lot of wilderness with lots of old Daedric ruins just waiting for a new group of worshippers. The Ordinators have their hands full with heretics and dissidents at home. They can't go out chasing Daedra lovers. Morrowind lore. You should know how the Kamana Tong feels about killing. According to the criminal customs of the Kamana Tong, killing is justifiable on any practical grounds. In particular, justifiable if you can get away with it and it serves your purposes. Killing is useful to educate and intimidate others, especially when brutal, cruel, and arbitrary. Killing is neither sinful nor dishonorable, but may be imprudent or wasteful. Alright, there we go. That's it for him. Let's look around in this dining room. Just in case there's something useful. I kind of doubt it, but you never do know. There's at least one chest to unlock. Silverware. Don't care. It occurs to me I got a bunch of apprentices' lockpicks. I should switch to using those. Also on... Alright, now we got two different ways down to the basement. Let's try this one first, where we find Almza Aranim. I'm Almza Aranim. Never seen you here before. First time in Gnaar Mok, then. Let me give you a little advice. We aren't used to visitors here, and we don't like what we aren't used to. So don't be surprised if people don't like answering a lot of questions. But you seem an okay sort, so if you're looking for someone in particular, or looking for services, or looking for a specific place, go ahead and ask. Background. I am Almza Aranim, agent and oathman of the Great House Lalu. Morrowind lore. Volunteer expeditions and mercenary raids against rogue Telvanni settlements are silently endorsed by the Duke, but they haven't done much good. Okay, not much for her. Let's look around her room. She's got some exquisite clothes in her closet. That's always a noteworthy find. Other than that, I'm not seeing much. Just a couple of beds. Maybe something under this other pillow. Nope. Alrighty. Let's try the other downstairs first. This looks like pure storage. Oops, not what I wanted. Not even a little. Come on. I thought there was another barrel under there. That's what I was trying to check on. Looks like there isn't. Okay. We will loot this little storage room in its entirety. Even though there doesn't seem to be anything special here. Nope. Alright, let's head upstairs, where we find Draris Barano. I'm Draris Barano, and this is Gnaar Mok. And you're Travis? Fine, that's all taken care of. Now, why don't you tell me what you want? Background. You may call me Draris Barano. What I do is my own affair. Okay. Not really anything for him. Let's spring the lock on this chest. Then let's head out to the balcony and chat with Andilo Thalas. Alright, you're in Gnaar Mok. Go ahead. You ask the questions and I'll do the answering. This is a savant. We'll rip through all the topics. Just in case, you never know when you'll get something to do. Background. I am Andilo Thalas, savant and retainer of the Great House Lalu. Morrowind lore. In Morrowind, whether you're a professional mercenary or a pilgrim or a traveler, you'll want some armor. Shields and tower shields are basic armor protection, but limit you to one-handed weapons. For body armor, get a cuirass first for the chest, then greaves for the legs, helm for the head, and boots for the feet. Add left and right pauldrons for upper arms, and gauntlets or bracers for lower arms. Balance protection against weight. You can't fight if you're exhausted by the weight of your armor. Alright, that's it for her. Now we can finish up by heading to the Droog Jigger's Rest. Here's Hinald. You're in Gnaar Mok. Go ahead. You ask the questions and I'll do the answering. Background. Hinald, at your service. I'm in the guild. Kamana Tong. They say someone hit the Kamana Tong at the council club. Hard. And the guards say they're very concerned and they're following all leads. But somehow they don't seem very sincere. And Larius Varro, Legion champion at Fort Moonmoth, he's been quoted as saying, "I swore an oath to stop corruption, but it seems the gods have seen fit to fulfill my oath for me." And you know what's funny? Someone said they saw you talking to General Varros several times recently. A coincidence? I don't think so. Killing and murder. According to the unwritten code of the Thieves Guild, killing is always inefficient, inelegant, and counterproductive. Okay. Always got to check for good loot, of course. They might get grumpy with me, but I do want that comberry. And now it's not even in there. Go figure. No real worries. We'll talk to... Have I read a guide to Vardenfell yet? I have not. This is a new book, so to speak. So let's look at the Guide to Vardenfell. Go over it and take it off the list. Guide to Vardenfell. Dagonfell, Sea of Ghosts, Red Mountain, Aldrune, Balmora, Sadrithmora, Molagmar, Sadanin, Vivek. Morrowind is the northeastmost province of the Tamrielic Empire, bounded on the north and east by the Sea of Ghosts, on the west by Skyrim, on the southwest by Cyrodiil, also known as the Imperial Province, and on the south by Black Marsh, also known as Argonia. Vardenfell district encompasses Vardenfell Island, a great landmass dominated by the giant volcano Red Mountain and cut off from mainland Morrowind by the surrounding inner sea. Only recently open to settlement and trade, most of the island's population is confined to the relatively hospitable west and southwest coast, centered on the ancient city of Vivek and the old Great House district centers at Balmora, Aldrune, and Sadrithmora. The rest of the island is covered by hostile desert wastes and arid grasslands and volcanic badlands, and thinly populated by the nomadic Ashlander tribes. Vardenfell has 9 basic geographic regions, each with their own distinctive plants and terrain features. Scholars have based their classifications on the different types of land described by the native Ashlanders, so the designations are recognized by most local traders, travelers, and adventurers. These geographic regions are called the Ascadian Isles, the Ashlands, Azura's Coast, the Bitter Coast, the Grayslands, Molag Amur, Red Mountain, the West Gash, and Sheogored. Alrighty. We are just about done, actually. Ascadian Isles. The Ascadian Isles is a region of lush, green, well-watered southern lowlands where most of Vardenfell's agriculture is found. The area includes Pelagiad, Suran, Vivec City, and Aldsotha, along with the inland lakes and waterways of the Ascadian Isles proper. The urban areas of Vivec and Ebonheart of the southern coast are densely populated. The inland Ascadian Isles are dotted with small farms and large plantations. The climate is temperate and comfortable with moderate rainfall. Ebonheart is the seat of the imperial government for Vardenfell district and a busy center of maritime trade. Castle Ebonheart is the home of Duke Vedum Dren, the district's ruler and emperor's representative. Also located at Castle Ebonheart are the Vardenfell district council chambers and the Hawkmoth Legion garrison. The officers' docks and warehouses of the East Empire Company are also found in Ebonheart. Vivec City is the largest settlement on Vardenfell and one of the largest cities in the east. Each of the great cantons is the size of a complete town. The High Fane and the Palace of Vivec are visited by hundreds of tourists and pilgrims daily. Citizens flock to the arena for entertainments and war games. Outlanders mostly confine themselves to the foreign canton, while natives live, work, and shop in the great house compounds and residential cantons. Aldsotha is a splendid Daedric ruin within sight of Vivec City. Though exotic and picturesque, it is a dangerous site haunted by old magics, dark cultists, and their Daedric summonings, and not recommended for sightseers. Suran is an agricultural village in the northeastern corner of the fertile Ascadian Isles region. 2 popular pilgrimage sites are nearby, the Fields of Kumu and the Shrine of Molag Bal. Pelagiad is a newly chartered imperial village between Balmora and Vivec City on the western edge of the Ascadian Isles region. The village is right outside the Imperial Legion garrison at Fort Pelagiad. The houses and shops are built in the Western Imperial style, and Pelagiad looks more like a village in the Western Empire than a Morrowind settlement. The Ashlands. The Ashlands are the dry, inhospitable wastelands surrounding the lower slopes of Red Mountain. The Ashlands extend to the Sea of Ghosts in the north and elsewhere form a wide margin between the blighted Red Mountain region and other geographic regions. The village of Margan is the only sizable permanent Ashland settlement. Aldrune, the district seat of House Redoran, is on the margin of the region. Ashlanders hunt for game here and their herds find sparse grazing. It rains rarely and suffers frequent ash storms. Margan is a small isolated village in a remote region north of Aldrune. The Margan Shrine is an important temple pilgrimage site. The Ashlander Urshilaku tribe has a permanent settlement at Urshilaku Camp in the Ashlands region north of Margan village. Azura's Coast. The rugged coast and islands of northern and eastern Vardenfell are called Azura's Coast. The region is rocky, infertile, and largely uninhabited except for the outpost at Molag Mar, the Telvanni settlements at Sadrith Mora, the wizard towers at Tel Arun, Tel Mora, and Tel Brenora, and Ahamusa Camp, and the remote fishing villages of Ald Redania and Dagon Fell on the north coast. There are no roads. Most travel is by boat. Despite the rocky terrain, a variety of plants thrive on the regular rainfall. Sadrith Mora is the district seat of House Telvanni and home of the Telvanni Council, though only one Telvanni councillor actually lives in Sadrith Mora. Sadrith Mora is an island settlement and accessible only by sea and teleportation. The town is large with many services, but it is open only to Telvanni retainers. Outsiders must confine themselves to the Gateway Inn. Tel Brenora is the tower and seat of the eccentric Telvanni wizard named Mistress Thorana. The tower and its tiny village are located on a rocky promontory at the southeasternmost tip of Azura's coast. Tel Fear is the Telvanni tower of Sorcerer Lord Divaith Fear. Beneath the tower is the Corpusarium, a refuge prison where the deranged, distorted victims of the deadly Corpus disease are housed and tended. Tel Arun is the Telvanni tower of Archmagister Gothran, Telvanni Sorcerer Lord and head of the Telvanni Council. The associated settlement is a sizable village, and the site of the festival slave market, the largest slave market on Vardenfell. Tel Mora is the Telvanni tower of Mistress Dratha, an ancient wizard of the Telvanni Council. The small settlement includes a few craftsfolk and a trade house. Tel Vos is the tower of Telvanni wizard and council member Master Aryan. Tel Vos is a peculiar blend of Telvanni and Western architectural styles and is close to Vos village. Bal Fel is the City of Stone, an ancient first-era ruin in the southeastern islands and promontories of Azura's coast. The site has a nasty reputation, and several Telvanni wizards currently have competing camps of hirelings and adventurers exploring and looting there. Legend says that Bal Fel was built on the site of an ancient Daedric worship center. The Ashlander Ahamusa tribe has a permanent settlement at Ahamusa Camp on a rocky promontory at the northeastern tip of the Vardenfell mainland in the Azura's Coast region. The Bitter Coast. The western coast of Vardenfell from Seydaneen north to Gnaar Mok is called the Bitter Coast. The salt marshes and humid swamps of this region are uninhabited, with the only settlements found at the good harbors of Gnaar Mok, Hlaod, and Seydaneen. Also called the Smuggler's Coast, the region's secluded coves and islands provide refuge for criminal trade, and the frequent rain and fog hides small boats from excise cutters. The piercing light of the Grand Pharos at the mouth of the harbor of the port village of Seydaneen is a beacon to mariners throughout the inner sea. Most visitors from the Empire make landfall at the port of Seydaneen, where they are processed by the Imperial Census and Excise Commission agents of the Coast Guard station. The Coast Guard cutters docked here control smuggling and piracy on the inner sea. Hlaod is a tiny, isolated fishing village on western Vardenfell in the Bitter Coast region. A rough track along the river Odai connects Hlaod with the town of Balmora. Gnaar Mok is a tiny island fishing village in the Bitter Coast region of western Vardenfell. The Grazelands. The regular rain and dark soils of the Grazelands produce the rich grazing for Ashlander herds that give the region its name. The region lies in the northeast of Vardenfell, sandwiched between the Ashlands and Azura's coast. Permanent settlements include Vos village and the towers of Tel Vos and Tel Fear. The Ashlanders of Zainab Camp move their herds across the plains in search of fresh grazing. There are no roads or tracks, but travel is easy across the open plains. The Ashlanders Zainab tribe has a permanent settlement at Zainab Camp near the village of Vos in the Gracelands region. Molag Amur. Located inland in the southeast of Vardenfell, Molag Amur is an uninhabited wasteland of rocky hills, steep-sided ravines, lava pools, and barren ash pavements. Pathfinding and travel is extremely difficult in this trackless wilderness and is complicated by frequent ash storms. The Ashlanders of Erebinimson Camp hunt game here, but few others venture into this region. The worst part of Molag Amur, called the Great Scaves, is considered impassable even by the Ashlanders. The outpost at Molag Mar is a fortified stronghold on the southeastern edge of the desolate Molag Amur region. Pilgrims bound for the nearby pilgrimage sites at Mount Asarnabibi and Mount Kand take refuge at the outpost's hostels, comforted by the garrison of Redoran and Buoyant Armiger crusaders stationed at the stronghold. The Ashlander Erebinimson tribe has a permanent settlement at Erebinimson Camp, an isolated hut settlement in the middle of the desolate Molag Amur region. Red Mountain. The dominant feature of Vardenfell, Red Mountain, is a vast volcano in the center of Vardenfell. The outer slopes are steep and rugged, and the crater is deep and dotted with surface lava. The Ghost Fence, a magical barrier which blocks travel as well as seals in the harmful, disease-laden weather called Blight, rings the volcano's outer slopes and is broken only at Ghost Gate. Within the Ghost Fence, rain never falls and the sun never shines. The only weather is the red and deadly ash blight. Ghost Gate is the gate citadel of the Ghost Fence Ordinator and Buoyant Armiger garrisons. Ghost Gate sits astride the only gap through which the monstrous hosts of Dagothur might emerge from Red Mountain to threaten the rest of Morrowind. The Ghost Fence itself is a colossal magical artifact that completely encircles Red Mountain and prevents the Blight from spilling its corruption across the rest of Vardenfell. West Gash. The western highlands of Vardenfell are called the West Gash. The region extends from the Sea of Ghosts on the northwest coast to the inland town of Balmora, where the region is sandwiched between the Bitter Coast and the Ashlands. The trading village of Nissus is north of Aldrune, and the fishing villages of Aldveloth and Cool lie on the north coast. The town of Caldera lies near Balmora. The herds of the Ashlanders of Ursulaku camp graze on the sparse but hardy highland vegetation. Balmora is the district seat of House Lalu and the largest settlement on Vardenfell after Vivec City. Good roads lead north to Aldrune and south to Caldera, Sedanine, and Vivec City. The Imperial Legion garrison of Fort Moonmoth lies south of Balmora. Caldera is a recently chartered imperial town and mining corporation. The Caldera Mining Company has been granted an imperial monopoly to remove raw ebony from the rich deposits here. Caldera has the appearance and flavor of a western imperial town. Aldrune is the district seat of House Redoran and a large settlement. The Redoran council chambers are located inside the shell of an ancient, extinct giant crab. Tracks lead north to Margon and Nissus villages and south to Balmora. Nissus is a small mining and trade village astride the Siltstrider caravan route between the northwest West Gash and Aldrune. Aldvelothi and Cool are tiny fishing villages on the northern coast of the West Gash. Sheagored. The large island of Sheagored lies north of Vardenfell. This island and its associated lesser islands are a maritime wilderness extending north from Vardenfell into the Sea of Ghosts. The region is largely hostile and uninhabited, with two small villages at Aldredania and Dagon Fell. Only Dagon Fell is reached by ship services. All other island-to-island transport must be provided by the traveler. Interesting. All right. Well, shoot. This gold is not going to be easy to get. Oh, and I barely even care. Why don't I just leave it? It doesn't matter. Well, maybe now that she's turned this way, I have a better angle for it, especially if I get some elevation. Ah, it's not even there. Go figure. Okay. I can't even reach those sacks in the back corner. So, let's talk to Balan right quick. I'm Balan, never seen you here before. First time in Gnaar Mok then. Let me give you a little advice. We aren't used to visitors here, and we don't like what we aren't used to. So don't be surprised if people don't like answering a lot of questions. But you seem an okay sort, so if you are looking for someone in particular, or looking for services, or looking for a specific place, go ahead and ask. Background. Balan, at your service. I'm in the guild. Killing and murder. Unnecessary killing may be grounds for expulsion from the guild. Little advice. Noble families often aren't around to watch their manners, so they lock everything up. This makes them a wonderful opportunity to practice your skill at picking locks in the privacy of someone else's house. And of course, don't neglect to check the contents of that chest after you pick it. Okay, that's it for her. So let's check over here. Oh, this is not easy. Your crime has been reported. You've been expelled from Thieves Guild. Come on. Ugh. Christ. I'm low on time. I really need a little help here. Come on. Maybe I can spin her away at least. That should help. Check these other crates while I'm at it. Looks like she's not the problem. Or at least not the only one. Let's see if we can spin Wadarku. God damn it! I was pointed at the wooden barrel. Ah! Piece of crap. Alright, well, he's... Oh, come on! Oh, this is annoying. That's alright. I seem to have them all facing away from the chests. That's probably the best I can do. Oh, for God's sake! Who does it say is seeing me? Jesus, tap dancing Christ, none of them are even looking over here. Come on! I don't mind losing out on a little gold, but fuck, I need the security experience. Maybe I need some elevation, too. That tends to help. There we go. Good. Okay, what about this chest? Good. And what about this one? That's going to be tougher. It's right next to the guy. I need it, though. There's just nothing else for it. I need it. Come on. Ugh. Haven't had this much trouble in ages. Okay, the crate is empty. Yeesh. Man, how do I even do this? If only that first one had worked. Alright, well, I've got him looking away. That's pretty, actually away. That's pretty good, I think. Pretty close to what I actually need. Excellent! Check it out. Get the gold. Excellent! Alright, now we can chat with Wadarku. I'm Wadarku, and this is Gnaar Mok. And you're Travis? Fine, that's all taken care of. Now, why don't you tell me what you want? Background. Wadarku hears you. Wadarku is in the guild. I will point out that Wadarku is a master trainer for Sneak. He is the second one, along with the guy in Caldera. Let's rip through his dialogue right quick. Alright, and that is it. We are now done in Gnaar Mok. I am ready to end the video. It's actually been about an hour and 10 minutes. Next time, the first thing we'll do is go turn in the 2 quests we've progressed. We dealt with Anasi's problem here in Gnaar Mok, and we also recovered the Chapel Limeware Bowl for Kay at the Imperial Cult. Until then, this has been Let's Play Morrowind. If you enjoy my videos, please consider clicking an ad, liking, sharing, or subscribing, any or all of which will really help me out. But regardless, please know that I really do appreciate the time you spend watching, and hope you have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.